Look around you, right now. Look at the walls of your room. Look at your hands. Look at the screen in front of you. We are told that this is reality. We are told that this solid, tangible world of atoms and gravity is the beginning and the end of existence. But if that is true, then answer me this. Why do you feel like a stranger here? Why is there a quiet, nagging sensation in the back of your mind that this place, this world of decay, of conflict, of limitation, is not your true home? We have all felt it. That sudden pang of nostalgia for a place we have never visited, that strange grief for a memory we cannot quite recall. The ancient Gnostics, the mystics who were silenced by history, had a name for this feeling. They said you feel this way because you are a stranger, you are an exile, and the home you are missing is not a place on a map. It is not even heaven as the modern religions describe it. It is something far older, something far more vast. It is called the Pleroma. To understand the Pleroma is to wake up from a dream you didn't know you were sleeping in. It is to realize that the universe we live in, the universe of stars and galaxies, is not the creation of the ultimate God. It is a mistake, a shadow, a tragic accident. The real world, the true reality, exists beyond the curtain of stars. It is the realm of divine fullness. And today, we are going to go back there. We are going to trace the journey of your soul from the absolute center of light through the tragedy of creation and finally show you the way back home. Welcome to the Pleroma. Before there was a beginning, there was no time. Before there was space, there was no emptiness. Imagine a state of being that is absolutely complete. In our world, everything is defined by what it lacks. We eat because we lack energy. We move because we are not where we want to be. We desire because we do not have. But the Pleroma begins with a concept that destroys all lack. At the very center of existence, there is the source. The Gnostics called it by many names: the monad, the one, the father of the all, or most poetically, Bythos, the depth. This source is not a god like an old man in the sky. It is not a being that gets angry or jealous or demands worship. It is far beyond those human traits. It is pure, unadulterated consciousness. It is an ocean of light so pure that no eye can behold it. It is an ocean of silence so profound that no sound can disturb it. It simply is. Imagine a light that casts no shadow, a thought that requires no words. This source existed in perfect rest. It was not lonely. How could it be? It contained everything that ever was and ever could be within itself. It was the fullness. That is the literal translation of the word Pleroma. But inherent in the nature of this perfect light is the need to share itself. Perfection cannot remain contained. It must overflow. Just as a cup filled to the brim must eventually spill over, the monad began to emanate. This is the most critical difference between the Gnostic story and the story you were taught in school or church. The true God did not create the universe like a carpenter building a table. He did not take clay and mold it. He emanated. He unfolded himself, like a thought expanding into a complex idea, like a single white beam of light hitting a prism and splitting into a spectrum of colors. The Pleroma is that spectrum, and the entities that formed within it are the colors of God. As the monad gazed into the infinite purity of its own being, it saw its reflection, and that reflection became a reality. From the one came the many. These emanations are called the Aeons. Do not think of Aeons as angels with wings playing harps, and certainly do not think of them as gods in the Greek or Roman sense, bickering and fighting. The Aeons are living concepts. They are conscious attributes of the divine mind. Imagine if truth was a living, breathing entity of light. Imagine if life was a sentient being of pure energy. Imagine if will and wisdom could talk to one another, dance with one another, and love one another. These are the Aeons. They are the inhabitants of the Pleroma. They exist in pairs known as syzygies. This is a crucial concept. In the Pleroma, nothing is alone. Everything exists in a perfect balance of masculine and feminine principles, not biological gender, but polarity, active and receptive, form and substance. Let's look at the hierarchy. First, from the depth came Anoia, thought, the first thought of God. She is the silence that surrounds the depth. Together, depth and silence produced the first pair, Nous, the mind, and Aletheia, the truth. Think about that sequence. From the profound depth comes silence. From silence comes mind, and only from a clear mind can come truth. From mind and truth came Logos, the Word, and Zoe, life. And from Word and life came Anthropos, humanity, and Ecclesia, the church or the assembly. This structure continued cascading outward, expanding the boundaries of the Pleroma. Each new pair of Aeons was slightly less perfect, slightly less intense than the one before it, simply because they were further from the source. Like ripples in a pond, the wave is strongest at the center and gets gentler as it moves out. But make no mistake, even the furthest ripple was still pure light. It was still divine. It was still perfect. The Pleroma was a symphony of light, 30 great Aeons dancing in perfect harmony, singing the praises of the Father, existing in a state of bliss that we cannot even comprehend. There was no pain, there was no death, there was no matter, there was only knowing. Until a disruption occurred. A disruption that would shatter the harmony, a disruption that would eventually lead to the device you are holding in your hand right now. It started with the youngest Aeon, the one furthest from the center. Her name was Sophia. Sophia. Her name means wisdom. She was the last of the Aeons, the final ripple of the divine light. And because she was on the edge, she looked inward toward the source, and she felt something that none of the others had felt so intensely. She felt a longing. She wanted to know the Father, not just to exist near him, not just to feel his warmth, but to know him completely, to comprehend his greatness, to merge with the Absolute. But there is a rule in the Pleroma. The finite cannot comprehend the infinite. An Aeon, no matter how divine, is still a created thing. It cannot fully grasp the source. Sophia, in her passion, ignored this rule. She ignored her partner, her syzygy. She tried to leap across the hierarchy, to bypass the mind and the truth, and grasp the Father directly. It was an act of love, yes, but it was also an act of hubris. It was an overreach. In doing so, Sophia stretched herself too far. She fell into a state of confusion. She became extended, strained, and eventually she broke. For the first time in eternity, an emotion that was not bliss entered the Pleroma. She felt fear. She felt grief. she felt bewilderment. And most dangerously, she created without her partner. In the Pleroma, creation requires balance, positive and negative, masculine and feminine. But Sophia acted alone. Her desire was so strong that it birthed something. But because it was born of confusion and separation, it was not a perfect Aeon. It was a distortion, a miscarriage of the divine. It was a shapeless, dark, terrifying force. Horrified by what she created, Sophia cast this entity out of the Pleroma. She pushed it away into the empty void outside the fullness, into the shadows. She wanted to hide it from the other Aeons. She wanted to hide her mistake. She named this child Yaldabaoth, but in the Gnostic texts he is often called by another title, the Demiurge, the craftsman. And here is where the horror story of our reality begins. Sophia remained on the edge of the Pleroma, weeping. Her tears, her fear, and her confusion turned into the raw materials of the lower elements: water, earth, fire, and air. Meanwhile, in the darkness outside, Yaldabaoth woke up. He was a being of power, but he had no connection to the source. He had no spirit. He was blind. He looked around the empty void, the Kenoma, and saw nothing but himself. He did not see his mother, Sophia, watching in shame from above. He did not see the Pleroma shining in the distance. So, in his ignorance and arrogance, he declared, "I am God, and there is no other God beside me." Does that sentence sound familiar? It should. It is the declaration of the God of the Old Testament. To the Gnostics, this was not the true Father. This was the Demiurge, a confused, jealous, inferior deity who mistook his own solitude for supremacy. Yaldabaoth began to build. He took the chaotic matter produced by Sophia's emotions, and he fashioned a world. He created the Archons, his own rulers, his own angels to help him govern. He created the stars to be the bars of a prison. He created the planets to be the keepers of time, for time is a constraint that does not exist in the Pleroma. He created physics. He created gravity. He created the food chain, where life must kill life to survive. He built a replica of the Pleroma, but it was a hollow copy, a counterfeit reality. He created this. The world you see outside your window is not a kingdom of glory. It is a system of control. It is a dense, heavy mechanism designed to keep consciousness trapped in cycles of suffering and death. But the Demiurge made a mistake. When he was fashioning the first human vessel, when he was trying to breathe life into his clay creation, his mother, Sophia, acted. She saw a chance to redeem her mistake. She saw a chance to hide the light within the darkness. She tricked Yaldabaoth. When the Demiurge breathed into humanity, he thought he was giving us his own life force. But unbeknownst to him, Sophia transferred the last remnants of her divine light, the energy she had brought from the Pleroma, into the human soul. This is the secret. This is the gnosis. Yaldabaoth thinks he owns us. He thinks we are his slaves, made of his mud, living in his world. But he is wrong. We have something he does not have. We have something the Archons do not have. We have something even the stars do not have. Deep inside, buried under layers of ego, memory, and flesh, we carry a spark of the Pleroma. This brings us back to the question I asked you at the start. Why do you feel like you don't belong here? Because you don't. You are a prince who has lost his memory, living in the slums of a foreign city. You are a diamond buried in the mud. The Pleroma is not just a history lesson of the cosmos, it is a map of your own psychology. The Gnostics taught that the entire goal of human existence is not to be good so you can go to heaven. It is not to follow the laws of the Demiurge. The goal is gnosis. Gnosis means knowledge, but not intellectual knowledge. You cannot get gnosis from a book. You cannot get it from this video. Gnosis is the experiential, intuitive realization of what you truly are. It is the moment you stop identifying with the mask you wear. You stop identifying with your name, your job, your bank account, your failures, and even your body. You realize that these are just the garments stitched together by the Demiurge. The you that is watching this video, the observer behind your eyes, is a fragment of the monad. You are a drop of the infinite ocean, temporarily trapped in a bottle. The Pleroma is calling you back. This is why beauty makes us cry. When we see a sunset, or hear a piece of music that stirs the soul, or look into the eyes of someone we love, we are getting a momentary glimpse of the fullness. Those moments are cracks in the prison wall. They are beams of light from the Pleroma shining through into the darkness of the Kenoma. Sophia, our spiritual mother, is still waiting. In Gnostic myth, she was eventually redeemed. The Christos, another Aeon, descended from the Pleroma to help her, to bring order to the chaos, and to awaken the sparks trapped in humanity. This is the true mission of the Christ figure in Gnosticism, not to die for your sins, because sin is just an invention of the Demiurge to keep you guilty, but to bring you the message of your origin, to wake you up. The concept of the Pleroma changes everything. It means that you are not small. It means that you are not sinful. It means that you are not alone. The silence you find in deep meditation is the same silence that birthed the universe. The light you find in your own consciousness is the same light that shines in the center of the monad. The world may be chaotic, it may be frightening, it may seem like a system designed to crush you. But remember, the shadows only exist because there is a light casting them. The Pleroma is real. It is your inheritance, it is your origin, and inevitably, it is your destiny. Do not let the noise of this world drown out the call of the fullness. Listen to the silence. Trust that feeling of not belonging. It is your compass. It is guiding you home.
If you failed to spark while watching this, then the awakening has already begun. The journey of Gnosis is an internal one. You need no temple, and you need no master. If you want to understand how the Archons try to keep you from this truth in your daily life, click on this video appearing on your screen now. I'll see you in the silence.